When I start shooting, all y'all gonna clear out.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So I just did a little bit of experimenting with Kunimitsu in a 9-hour stream. That's crazy. And yeah, she's my secondary character from back in the day, so I'm excited for the character to return, and I was looking forward to her. Also, Bob is my secondary character as well, and we'll check him out when he drops. But Kunimitsu, first DLC character to hit Tekken 8 in about 6 months, 7 months, so 6, 7. So it's like a very long wait. And the wait was so anticipated to where when she was releasing, the website broke because people were trying to flood to see the patch notes, flood to, go to Steam, go to PlayStation. People just were very interested in trying this new update. And we'll talk about the update in a separate video, but so far it seems beautiful. Everyone is celebrating. We can continue to say that the developers are listening. But focusing on Kunimitsu, there's just a couple of things that I noticed in my experimentation. Of course, I'll continue to experiment, but so far, a couple of things I want to note. Number one, this was said in Michael Murray's interview, but experimenting with the game and watching stuff on Twitter, you can see that it's obviously true. Her combo damage is low, and I don't know if I would say it's the lowest in the game, but it's kind of similar to Yoshimitsu, where sometimes she could get high up there in terms of numbers, but generally she's hovering around 70 to 80, and that's going to be something that hurts her a lot, because other characters in this game could do 120, 100, 90 damage. They could do a whole lot of stuff. So her having that low combo damage means that she's going to have to work a little bit harder to keep up, because something that I experienced with Yoshimitsu is like, I'll do a combo like 3 or 4 times on someone, they'll still be alive. Meanwhile, they hit me with one combo in a mix-up and I just get destroyed. The next thing that I'll talk about is just the combo variation, the variety. It's kind of generic. One problem that I had with Kunimitsu, or all of the DLC, is that their combos are just kind of yikes to me. Armor King, Fakaram, Marizu, Kunimitsu, Anna, thank you for the follow. All of those characters, their combos is just, it's almost like the developers laid out a train track and you just ride the track. It's not really like some of these other characters like Yoshimitsu, for example, or Brian Ferry, where you can kind of choose your combo route. You could choose to try to go for some spicy damage, some crazy oki, but these new combos where it's like you launch, you do the follow-up, and then you do the screw, and then you do the tailspin. It's just very formulaic. Like if you look at Kunimitsu gameplay, everyone is posting their combos and it's all the same. They may do a slight variation where they add a little sidestep this in there or something else there, but they're all doing the same moves. And that's just something that I dislike as a whole, because combos is such a special part of Tekken, and when the characters are designed in a way to where everyone is using the exact same combos and that's it's kind of loses that like special that special thing, right? Like you won't be able to tell the difference between my combo and a pro combo because we're all following that same track. That's literally how Armor King is, right? Thank you for the follow. So that's something that I hope that they fix going forward in the future, especially with a character like Bob, who, has that skill expression. And if that's wiped away and everyone's doing the same 3 combos, it's not going to be pretty. But one thing I do think is interesting about this character, so combos isn't really what you want to focus on. It's more so punishment and defense. This character has basically all of the punishments, but she also has really good punishments. Like if you have execution with this character and quick reactions, you are going to be able to do some work with her. She has that 14 frame punish, which I seen a video, it tears Reina to shreds. Reina, worst matchup will probably be Kunimitsu. If you're a good defensive player and you go up against Reina, you probably just be able to destroy her. If there are pro players who pick up this character, we're going to see them using that execution and decimate, because that 14 frame and some of the other things she could do is really cool. And I think that will make her stand out, but it probably would be broken if she had excellent punish like she does, but then she has high combo damage. So maybe that's the trade-off that the developers gave her to keep her kind of balanced in a way, because she also has very good poking and she could kind of keep up that pressure on you, and there's a lot of mix-up potential. But the thing too about that is when I was experimenting, it just seems so very like interruptible. Like there's a lot of stuff in the game where you're kind of afraid to press a button, or sometimes you can't press a button. But with Kunimitsu, there's so much stuff that you could just jab and hit her out of very easily. And I'm not saying that I want her to be uninterruptible, but it's just a noticeable difference between characters who you can't interrupt. Press button on those characters and see what happened, right? That's kind of a weird thing where so far, just doing the experimentation that I did and not really getting too much gameplay because the servers are down, it seems like she's interruptible. But who knows? I'll go up against a very good Kunimitsu, and maybe they'll mix me with all the stances and the pressure. But we'll see. Another thing too about Kunimitsu is how powerful she is. Of course, this is something that's talked about with every DLC character because you have pay to win, you have busted characters, you have overpowered this, overpowered that. But I don't think she's going to be a character that people play. I know Arslan has been requesting this character for a very, very long time, but I don't know if he's going to want to play this character. She does not seem strong enough to pull in someone who only plays strong characters like Arslan. Now, of course, Arslan plays a lot of characters. We've seen him pull out even in Marizu against Atif. That was kind of like one of those rare cases where you're trying to throw someone off who knows your style. It didn't work. But maybe he'll use Kunimitsu for a rare instance like that when he's trying to style or throw someone off. But as for this becoming someone's primary character, I highly doubt anyone will drop their character for Kunimitsu. She just doesn't seem to be that strong in comparison to others. I think she's going to fall in the exact same place on the tier list as like Marizu. Now, we'll see though. I could be wrong and this character could do something that surprises me. I was looking very hard to try to find something that's like, okay, this was broken, but I just didn't see it, bro. And with other characters, it was so much more obvious of like, okay, this is the move that they're going to use. Okay, this is what, with her, you can't really tell. So maybe it's just a combination of mastering everything that will make her that way. But once again, if that is the case, then she becomes like a kind of like a specialist character, right? And specialist characters aren't really like that popular amongst people who like broken characters. This is why when Yoshimitsu was the strongest in the game and everyone was saying he's top 3, his usage really didn't climb that high. His tournament presence didn't climb that high. The only people who really did good with him was Yoshi mains, and that's because there's a lot of effort to put into him because he has like 300 moves. I don't know how many moves Kunimitsu has, but just knowing how many stances she has, all the back turn stuff, low combo damage, good poking, decent pressure, but it's not enough to like landslide your opponent. I don't think people are going to want to play her. Not pro players. Now, where do you talk about people online and her usage and how that falls out? I think that people will obviously want to try her as the game, as she's brand new, but if she cannot keep up with the other characters in terms of dealing out raw pressure, which so far I don't think she can, I think we'll see a lot of people drop off this character. And depending on how true or accurate I am, they may drop off fast. I just see people not sticking with this character. That's what I think. I think people are not going to stick with this character. Overall, she's a good character because she's not game breaking and she's not going to make people quit the game. If people were fearing Kunimitsu the same way they were fearing Fakuram, you can see that the developers took those fears into consideration and that they are trying to make it to where players can obviously tell that they're much weaker. There's so many things that the developers did to Kunimitsu and Fakuram that made them weaker than their previous versions, right? And then one thing too with Kunimitsu, there's a lot of moves missing. Hell Sweep is missing. She still has Sidestep 4, but sometimes it doesn't knock down. In Tekken 7, it knocked down all the time. So that's kind of a nerf. They also took away her forward 1+2 unblockable, which was a high. That move is only accessible in her 10-hit string, and that 10-hit string is trash. If Kunimitsu does that to you, know that that unblockable high is coming, and you can either launch her before she does it, counter hit, or you can just crouch and launch her that way. So you can really choose whether you want to punish or counter hit her. And that 10 hit is trash. But that forward 4-2 unblockable being gone is so bad in my opinion. Maybe it's a good thing because I was using that a lot in Tekken 7 in preparation for 8 and it's gone there. So it's like, that sucks. Like, it's just not there. Also, they took away her backsway in Tekken 7. She had a down 1+2 backsway wall bounce move. Of course, they're not going to bring wall bounce into Tekken 8, but just seeing that move be gone, period, is kind of crazy. They took away her her back sway, just like they took away Yoshimitsu's back sway, but they still give so many other characters back sway. So I wonder what the logic is there when they decide who they want to give back sways to and take them away. One thing too that's worth noting about Kunimitsu is that they changed a lot of her inputs. A lot of her inputs has been altered, but strangely enough, you still can adapt to it very well. Like I was playing Tekken 7, and then when I first was trying Tekken 8, it was kind of throwing me off. But over time, I just kind of figured it all out, and I was like, okay. So you just kind of change your brain a little bit, and then you're good. The biggest change for her, and I think a lot of people would love this, is that the dagger throw is now punishable, -13. In Tekken 7, this thing was safe, and it was just a tool that was used to just decimate and annoy everyone. I wish that they could do something like that with June's laser beam, where full screen and like half screen is not something that just can harass everyone. But for right now, the dagger is that way. And its primary use is as a punishment and to end combos. So we'll have to see more about this character as time goes on. But for right now, that's my sort of that's my rough assessment of Kunimitsu.